Thank you, Producer Chase. This is Scott Johnson on behalf of Hopkins Farm Broadcasting in Shelbyville, Tennessee, Bedford County, about 50 miles south of Nashville, 25 miles south of Murfreesboro. In the lovely, rolling, and a little bit now with the rain, green hills of southern Middle Tennessee. It's that time of the month where we have Carol Garrett, the Director of Communications with the Bedford County Schools, to come in and talk about various things going on in the school system. And we do have Carol Garrett and Friends today. Carol, welcome.
Thank you. I like bringing my friends here.
I know it. You're good about bringing friends. You have more friends than anybody I know, as a matter of fact. Why don't you introduce your special guest today?
All right. So I have with me Nick Eagles, who's been in communications now at Bedford County Schools for about a month. Nick, is that right?
It's his second time here.
That's right.
It is.
So he is running and learning and a great asset for our school system. And then Nick and I have been going around this month, and we're working on meeting with all our schools to talk about communications and special things that each school has going on. And we just recently met with Becky Miller at Southside, and she has so many special things going on there. I wanted her to share some of this with us today. And Becky is the principal, and this is her second full year at Southside, and she came in for a half a year before that, so about 2.5 years in at Southside Elementary here in Shelbyville.
Well, welcome, Becky.
Thank you.
Appreciate you coming in today. And why don't we start out with, since I like this idea about going around talking about each one of the schools, Carol. I'm glad you guys are taking that initiative. Of course, we have, like 15 schools now?
16 now with Cartwright.
Excuse me, how could I forget Cartwright?
Well, and that includes our Learning Academy as well, so 16 including Bedford County Learning Academy.
You guys are going to be on the run all month if you're going to every school.
We are.
That's the plan.
Every day.
You put a lot of miles on that car.
Yeah,
we do.
A school a day.
Yeah, but anyway, why don't we start with like an overview kind of Southside Elementary School?
Yeah, so Southside Elementary School, and this changes daily, but according to my latest numbers, we're at about 350 students at Southside Elementary now. Staff-wise, how many teachers? 20?
Probably about 30 classroom teachers, and then with assistants and whatnot, I have a staff of about 55.
Okay. And then Southside has some things going on that they're doing to help our students. One thing is called the House. It's a house special. Is that correct? I can't wait for Becky to tell you about that. And then
Sounds like a restaurant.
Well, not really.
The house
Not really,
special?
but we do have the best cafeteria in town.
Oh, okay.
We'll have to
But y'all got some good biscuits there, don't you?
We do. Good.
Oh, I'm going to stop by now.
And then also they're doing something called the Amazing Shake, and that's kind of a program to help teach our kids some of the soft skills that they need in society. So conversational skills, learning to shake hands when an adult speaks to you.
Eye contact.
Eye contact, learning how to speak back and learning how to ask questions.
That's fantastic.
It is fantastic, and it's something.
Day-to-day skills you can use.
Absolutely.
You may not use algebra every day,
I know.
but you're going to use those skills, soft
Absolutely,
skills.
very valuable. So they've got some great things going on in combination with their academic pursuits, and they've made a lot of progress academically. So I really wanted Becky to come here and share some of these things with us today. Also, parent engagement. I hope you'll talk about that and ways that are working for Southside Elementary to have their parents involved, because that is just as much of an important partner as the teachers and admin teams, that parent involvement and parent engagement.
Critical team members in learning, right?
Yes.
Why don't we start with house rallies? What is that?
Well, I probably need to back up and start about what the house system is.
Okay, back up and let's talk about the house system then.
So the house system is just something that is a proven successful system that was put in place in schools all across the world. It's developed by Ron Clark, who is the founder of the Ron Clark Academy in Atlanta. He was the National Teacher of the Year. One year he kind of got put on Oprah, and his career kind of exploded. What the house system is it's just really designed to create a positive and powerful school culture. A lot of times when you come in as a new principal, you want to figure out what your core values are, what's most important for kids, and how to make school a place that they want to be at and enjoy. So really at the heart of it, the most important thing of the house system is it gives students and staff a sense of belonging. When you are sorted into a house, you're a member of that house for all your academic career throughout Southside. So if a kindergartner gets in our Amistad house, then kindergarten, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, they're always going to be Amistad. So, and it's all different grade levels. So it's not just being a part of, oh, these are my classmates in my class, and it's not just, oh, these are my classmates in kindergarten. It is various levels together, all coming together. We have 4 houses. We have Altruismo, which is called the House of Giving. We have Amistad, which is the House of Friendship. Isabendi is the House of Courage, and then Protos, of course, best house, is the House of Success. So that's kind of how we do it. Our kids get sorted on the first day, and they love it. Now they spin a wheel, and I make them close their eyes and talk to the wheel and tell them, what house do you think you belong in? And sometimes they get it and sometimes they don't. But the entire house behind them cheers for whatever they get. So that's kind of our system that we have.
And Becky, it's not just the students in houses, right?
Oh, no,
we share
everybody.
About that?
Yeah, no, it's not just students. Teachers are placed in houses, our administrators, our custodians, our EAs.
I love that.
Everyone, our SRO. That was fun to watch. Big old Mr.
I bet he got a huge cheer.
He loved it. So it's everybody, because our motto is 4 houses, 1 family. So that's kind of what we're going for.
Perfect.
Yeah. Our rallies, though, that's all about fun. Remember, I said I wanted to make school a place to be. So it's where we come together each quarter, and if we have any new students, which a lot of times we lose students and gain new students within a quarter, they get to spin the wheel with all the students in there, and it's just cheering and fun and belonging. There's music, there's confetti, we have house competition games. And then at the end, we announce who gained the most points for that 9 weeks. And they can earn points for a variety of reasons. Academics, putting forth not just the standard effort, but going above and beyond in all different sorts of behavior, academics, things like that. And whoever has the highest points at the end of that 9 weeks gets a party of some type. And those can range from anything from extra recess and a snow cone to a glow party, all the way to getting an extra hour of carnival time at the end of the year.
Okay. Rewards. Positive rewards.
Yeah.
Because there's both.
There is. Absolutely.
Reinforcement. Positive reinforcement. How's that?
Yes, absolutely. And it's just a time for our kids to come together and celebrate. This year, we've added another layer. Last year was my first year to implement the house system. And this year, we are implementing just a few more extra things. We've added house meetings. The house rallies are all about the fun times, but right before we have our house rally, we'll have a house meeting where all of Protos gets together, K through 5. All the 4 houses will get together, and that's where we kind of talk about things.
So the houses go across grade levels.
Yes, they do.
Okay,
yes.
Okay, that part.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
All right. So you can have a 5th grader and a kindergartner in the same house.
Yeah, and we're using that as a mentorship
well, that was my thought when you said that, yeah.
Yeah, no, we use that as an opportunity to mentor. A lot of the times we'll have our house, when we have book buddies. So our 5th graders might go down to kindergarten and read to them, but if you're a Protos, then you're going to try to find a Protos kindergartner. If you're Amistad, you would try to find your house member to be a buddy with, and that is really precious to see them in the hallway, and a kindergartner will give the sign for Protos to another person they know is in Protos. So it's a lot of fun. So in this house meetings, we are really just talking about leadership opportunities a lot, character traits, and really developing those soft skills, like how to communicate with each other. In the world of technology that we have now, a lot of people, whether you are young or old, have lost the ability to look at someone in the eye when you're talking to them. And when someone is talking to you and they ask you a question, well, etiquette, you should ask them a question in return and try to keep that conversation going. So we learn about that. And then the other addition that we're doing is we're adding heads of houses to our house meetings. So those are going to be our 5th graders that we're really working on those leadership opportunities for. And they have to apply. They have to be nominated by a teacher. They're going to be the head of that house. They're going to be the ones that kind of advocate for their house and what they need, what they would like to see in our rallies and our meetings. They're also going to be the ones that have those soft skills that they can help us at events like at when we have Veterans Day. They can be the ones that are shaking hands, saying welcome, taking people to where we're going to have the assembly and whatnot. So they're going to be our head of house, but we're also doing a co-head of house that are 4th graders, trying to train up the next group for when
the vice president.
The vice president, yeah. So that's a lot of what we do with our house system specifically.
I think one of the most beautiful things about it, and we have several schools that are pursuing this now, because we've had teachers and admin that have been to the Ron Clark Academy all across the system. So we're starting to see it in multiple schools. But I think one of the neat things about it is the theory that everybody belongs somewhere. Yes. So everybody has a place that they belong. And that's so neat to hear about the students making those signs in the hallway. It reminded me of that.
Yeah, somebody who moved a lot myself growing up. I went to 10 different schools before I graduated high school. So if I had something like this.
Nick, was that on purpose or was that forced?
Yeah.
Okay. Just asking Nick.
Yeah, and I would have loved to have something like this, right?
Sure,
a place for me to fit in. I was always
I can't imagine going to 10 different schools.
Right,
Nick.
yeah.
It'd be tough.
Yeah.
Good deal. Well, it helps those kids, and we do get a lot of transition in the city with kids moving around and coming in, and we're getting a lot of new folks into Bedford County every day.
Every day.
So they can belong right away.
Yeah,
right?
And I wish a lot of people could come to our house rallies and just see what it's like, the camaraderie when a new student spins the wheel. Maybe it's a kindergartner that just came in mid-9 weeks, and they're wide-eyed and scared of everything at that point, and to know that you've got this group of people behind you that
cheering for you.
They're cheering for you. They are happy.
Your school family.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Well, good deal. So what's going on with parents?
Our parents, we are doing a little something different. We always have our open house at the beginning of the year, but that's just more of a meet and greet. You're kind of saying, hi, this is my student, you're this teacher, and it doesn't really give you a sense of what Southside is about. So we are having 2 different parent nights this fall. We're having a K2 coming up this week, and then we'll have a grades 3-5 in the following weeks. And really, it's all about, okay, this is a day in the life of a 2nd grader at Southside, a 3rd grader at Southside, where they really get to meet the teacher on a different level, and they get to understand what the expectations are for our school and really for curriculum and content, because what we learned in school is not what they're expected to learn in school to the depth versus their age. So we really talk about, our 3rd grade retention laws. That's important for 3rd grade because that's only been around for a couple of years, knowing what is expected, what is not. We also want to make sure that they know by the end of the year. I love to give parents like an activity that is something that your 2nd grader would be expected to do by the end of the year, just so that they can see, okay, so kindergarten isn't just about learning about school anymore. No, you're learning about school, but you're also learning a lot of academics.
Well, I think that what a great program to do, because obviously parents need to understand that, what's going on, and to help their child, if nothing else, and help them even better understand what's going on within the school. Folks, we're talking to Carol Garrett and Nick Eagles and Becky Miller about things going on at Southside School. We're going to take a 60-second break and be right back.
Hey, listen up. Kincaid's is currently having a big closeout sale on all furniture. Take advantage of deals on a huge inventory of name brands like Flex Steel, Jackson, Catnapper, Ashley, Ardent Home, and so much more. It's time to stop by Kincaid's and shop the huge inventory during their big closeout sale while supplies last. Buy local with Kincaid's, offering financing and free local delivery. Located on the Kincaid corner on Madison Street in Shelbyville. Kincaid Service Company. company, where service is their middle name.
At Dr. Hasty Family Eye Care, they strive to bring you excellence. Their family-friendly atmosphere makes going to the doctor a breeze. They provide their patients with in-depth eye exams with same-day glasses, a wide selection of name-brand frames like Ray-Ban, Versace, Coach, and more. They also have contact lenses and are able to treat ocular diseases and eye injuries. Need an eye exam? Trust Dr. Hasty and Family Eye Care, located at 605 North Main Street in Shelbyville, directly across from the U.S. Post Office. 931-684-2020.
This is Scott Johnson on behalf of Hopkins Farm Broadcasting in Shelbyville, Tennessee, Bedford County. It's that time of the month we have Carol Garrett in, the Director of Communications for Bedford County Schools. And today our special topic is Southside School, and we're talking to the Principal Becky Miller. And when we went to the break, we were talking about various different programs you have there. What do you want to talk about next?
So just academically, we were talking about parents being involved in academics, but also there's something, Becky, if you want to touch on, I mean, we don't have to go into detail, but standards-based reporting, it's different. It can be confusing to parents in how their child is progressing, just the way that we're showing and reporting how a child is progressing.
State-mandated standards, is that correct?
Yes.
That's something we came up with in Bedford County?
That's correct.
It's important to know that.
Yes, that's correct.
Just like third grade retention loss.
It's
important to know it's a state mandate.
Right.
Yeah.
So standards-based grading is something that is implemented in K through 2 here in Bedford County. It is probably in its third year, I think, probably with first and second grade. Kindergarten has been standards-based grading for a long time.
Okay.
Standards-based grading is a completely different way of thinking about what your child knows and what your child is not ready for yet or hasn't achieved yet. It's not so much about a grade, it's about the learning and where they are on that state standard that as teachers we're expected to get these students to before they get to the next year. So, you with my K2 kids, you're not going to see grades come home that say 100 or 80 or 70. Most of us think of we get grades in reading, and then we average them up, and that's how you get your your grade. Yeah,
get your letter grade.
Yeah, get your letter grade.
I mean, that's the way I grew up.
Yeah, absolutely. But if
most of the parents get that part.
If you think about it, though, if you just have ELA is a huge, and that's reading language arts. That's a huge variety of topics. There's lots of standards. There's conventions in grammar. There's nonfiction. There's fiction, literature, main idea. It's a ton of things. So if you have 4 grades in like conventions, grammar, and you knock them out of the park, and then you had 4 other grades about reading comprehension, and that's something that student struggles with, if you average that up, does that really tell you what they know on every standard? It doesn't. So standards-based grading will take a standard, and then we will use the evidence that we collected throughout the 9 weeks to determine where that student falls on mastery of that standard. So some standards are huge. They have one overarching standard and then lots of little substandards underneath it. And as a teacher, you can't teach all of that in 9 weeks and expect someone to master it. So what we have to do is look at that evidence on one specific standard, and if they're a 1, they're not where they need to be yet. If they're a 2, they're getting close. If they're a 3, then they are on track. And then 4 means above grade level. Now, I need my parents to really think about that, because
that's a rare thing.
That's a rare thing.
Yeah.
That's a rare thing. Whereas if you averaged a grade, sometimes it's not a rare thing to make a 100.
Correct.
So.
Right.
Thank you. That was really good. That was a good
It is, because it's a complicated topic.
It is.
And it really is.
Yeah, and it's relatively new.
It is.
In terms of the education world, and it's confusing.
Yeah. A 2 is not necessarily a bad thing. It means that they're growing and they're approaching. You just might not see a 3 for a little while, and that's okay. Some kids learn very quickly. Some kids need extra support, and it's all about at the end of the year, where are they landing?
Well, I think it's difficult for a parent that's used to seeing a letter grade trying to translate that, and what you really can't, right?
It's
a different concept.
Yes, and our K2 teachers on our parent night are going to go
over
into
this.
that.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Good.
folks, if you're a parent at Southside School, you need to show up.
Do you have those 2 dates, Becky?
Yes. Our K2 night is actually this Thursday at Southside from 4:30 to 6.
Okay.
And then our 3rd through 5th grade night will be Thursday, September 26th. Same time, 4:30 to 6. We'll have some food trucks. We would love for you guys to come out.
Perfect.
Absolutely. Be part of your kids' learning process. And learn what's going on. Go ahead, Kara.
Well,
I know you got something to talk
Well, I heard her say ELA. So we
ELA?
have
English
every
language.
industry has lots of acronyms, right?
So we're going to go to
ELA.
ESL now?
That's right. ELA is English Language Arts, but then we have ESL, and that's English as a second language.
Yes.
And we have a lot of growth in that population in Bedford County. And so I thought Becky might want to talk about ESL and what kind of growth she has seen at Southside and the things that they are doing to support these students that have English as a second language.
Okay. Our school is very close to being around 50% Hispanic when we look at demographics. Now, of course, not all of those students need ESL services,
right.
but a great majority do. We have around 120 students in our building that get direct services for English as a second language. So that means they are spending portion of their day learning the language and the background schema that they need so that they can be successful in the classroom. So far, we have only had 2 teachers for several years working on that 120 caseload, which and they've done it beautifully. The last year we had 70% of those students met their growth goal for the end of the year ESL
70%?
test. 70%.
Okay.
We were the highest in the county, so I'm excited about
Shout
that.
out to Southside School on that.
And but this year, so that we can have more support, we've added 2 more teachers to our ESL roster. So we went from 2 to 4, which means our kids are going to get more individualized instruction, which is only going to help them. Probably our biggest growth is what we would call our newcomer students. Those are students that are coming directly from another country. I would say about 90% of those students that we get that are newcomers have never been in a school setting before. So they are...
and they could come in at 3rd grade level.
Yeah.
Age-wise.
Age-wise, yeah. And that's, a problem with the system, not our system, but with the way we design K-12 as a whole. I don't know it should necessarily be based on age because their needs are completely different.
Yeah, that's another topic for another day, right?
But our newcomers, last year, at the beginning of the year, we started our school with 5 newcomers. Just 5. And that's not... that's pretty manageable. We ended the last year, May of 24, with 20 newcomers. That is exponential growth for a school my size.
These are children that basically don't speak English.
Zero English.
Man, that's a challenge. Roughly, what kind of, and just as a guess, how much time does a student like that spend in the ESL teacher setting a day?
Right now, they spend 60 minutes.
Okay,
is what they
so
get.
about an hour a day.
Yeah.
Okay.
But for a newcomer, I wish we do as much as we can in the classroom to provide that support.
Yeah, right.
I would like to see that expanded. But again, that's resources and time.
Well, I think, and Carol, maybe you can help me with this, but part of the TISA funding and with our demographics allowed us to get additional money. I assume it's being spent on some of it on ESL teachers. Is that correct?
That's correct, yes.
Yeah. That's extra for the listening audience. That's money the state gives each school system that has special needs. I guess that's a good way to put it. But I know we got several $1 million because of our demographics. And,
yes, and one of those special needs is language challenges.
Right.
And
I mean, I know there's other things too, but that's one of them, right? And that's probably why she was able to go from 2 to 4.
Yes, that helps
because of that state TISA funding.
That's correct. So the funding is helping, but having certified teachers that want to take that challenge on is another
It's
story.
one thing to have the money. It's one thing to hire the people, right?
That's correct.
I mean, because that's the thing that a lot of school systems
That's correct.
are facing that challenge, right?
And federally, the law mandates that our ratio of ESL students to teachers is 35-1. So right now, we're about 9 teachers behind in having enough ESL teachers.
System-wide?
System-wide, correct.
Okay. All right. Well, I know you guys are recruiting all the time, though. I know you're trying.
That's right. We are.
And,
we absolutely are.
Folks, we got about 5 minutes left. What else do you want to talk about?
Well, let's see.
Because I know you got a whole bunch of information here.
I would like for you to talk about your new front office person.
Yes.
And I got to meet her the other day and how that's helping.
Okay.
I mean, our front office staff, they are really important. They're the first face that...
They're the face of the school,
visit
right?
the school, yes.
Yeah.
And... For some, that's the only person they really ever talk to. If it's not a parent with teachers or whatever, and it's just we can't underestimate the importance of that front office person and being the voice and the face for that school. And I met a nice young lady the other day, and she has some special skills.
Yes.
And so I wanted you to talk about that because I think that is going to be a great bridge for many of our parents, and that's exciting for our parents to feel more comfortable in coming to the school and visiting Southside and supporting that student.
Who is this mystery person?
Yes.
Her name is Ingrid, and we love
Ingrid.
her.
All right, Ingrid.
Miss Ingrid, she is our... front desk receptionist
Okay.
now.
All right.
One of the huge barriers with a demographic where almost half of our population only speak a language outside of
Right.
American, it's just a challenge. So it has been wonderful that she can speak both English and Spanish.
Okay.
Last year, or the year and a half that I've been there, it has been a struggle. You know, we would pick up the phone, hello, this is Southside, and the first thing they would ask is Espanol, and we didn't have anybody.
Right.
And that makes communication difficult, and it immediately... It just kind of puts a disconnect there between the parents and the student.
Yeah, because even if your student may speak English, the parent maybe
absolutely.
does not, right?
So it has been wonderful to hear the conversations and just the ease of mind I feel that it brings to our Spanish-speaking parents. I feel like we've had more participation. We've had more coming in to interact with us because we have someone there.
There's a huge benefit right there.
Yeah,
right?
that speaks their language, and I'm very, very happy about that. And it's been a wonderful addition and has made all the difference.
Well, thank you, Ingrid. If you're listening, she can listen to this on Facebook later.
And to our high school students who are considering learning a second language, here's one of the ways that exhibits how important it is. It's so valuable in the workforce. I mean, we're just sharing one aspect in the workforce in the school system, but it's such a valuable skill that underscores why am I having to study this. But Ingrid, I'm just so excited that our parents feel more comfortable in calling in and asking their questions or coming by.
You know, that's a huge benefit just beyond the translation capabilities, but making them feel where they, because you want them to participate in the school. You want those parents engaged, right?
Well, we need them engaged. It's not just a want.
They don't want, there's a need. Thank you for correcting me on that. Because, no, I mean, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Well, there's one more thing I'd like to touch on.
What do you want to talk about, Carol?
I'd love for Nick to touch on this because he's been working in several of these things right now. Is really we're wanting to spend some time this year talking about how parents can help the school. And not only parents, but businesses. If you want to help the school system, what are some ways that I can do that? And there's so many ways. We could talk for an hour about how you can get involved and help a school. But we've listed out some of those. We've got some going on right now. I thought Nick might want to touch on that.
Well, the School Spirit debit card program you guys have heard about last time we were here. We mentioned that.
But you need to talk about it every time you come in here.
That's right. Yeah, so it's 3 cents a swipe. No cost to the debit card holder.
On your debit card.
That's right.
First community bank. Money goes to the school system.
You get to pick
It goes
your
to the school.
It goes, yep.
Oh, there
So
you go.
you can go and say, I want to open up an account and get a debit card that's Southside Elementary, for example.
Right.
And then every time you swipe, it costs you nothing, but the bank sends 3 cents of every swipe from their transaction fee to the school.
What a great program. The first time you brought that in here, I thought, what a great program.
Yeah.
And that gives you some ownership in the school and identity with the school.
That's
too.
right. That's right.
Yeah, and the next one is the Dose Bros Spirit Day we have going on. So
okay.
This is really cool. So they are going to donate 30% off of your receipt as long as you say, I'm here for Spirit Day for the name of your school.
If you are a...
Yeah, let me make sure we get this right.
Get it right.
Students, teachers, parents, or grandparents.
Yes.
Okay.
And so if you want to find the day that your school is on the list, you'll just want to go under our resources tab under our website and how to give back to my school.
Well, the Dose Bros folks, they're a relatively new business here, but they're very, very active in the community.
What night is Southside's night?
You're asking me off the top of my head.
19th.
There we go. I put it on the paper.
Yeah, 19th.
Yes.
September 19th
September
is Dose
19th.
Bros
It's a
night for
Thursday.
Southside School.
30% of all the receipts.
That's a big chunk.
It is
All
a big
right.
chunk. And Dose
Yeah.
Bros is delicious.
Well, it is.
So
Yeah, free
fresh.
shout out here for Dose Bros.
Right.
So-
Commercial.
It's good.
But it is
last
good.
week.
I took Nick there last week. Yeah, it was good.
And I think we probably want to hit on Parent University. We have one this
Absolutely.
Friday, and it's going to be at Harris Middle. So this is a great opportunity for parents to get resources. We have a speaker, Dulcie Davis, is going to be there talking this week about attendance and truancy, the importance of getting your kids in school, the impacts it has on their success.
Yeah, Dulcie has a passion for that.
Yeah.
She wants your kid in school.
Right.
And for good reason.
That's right.
But, Dulcie.
And it takes place at Harris, but I think sometimes our public thinks it's just for the Harris population because it's at
no,
Harris.
you guys use them because they got a nice auditorium.
They have, it's a big school.
Yeah, a lot of parking.
And it's very central.
Yes.
So everybody can get
So
there.
it's
So
parents from any school.
absolutely, it is for everybody.
And when is that again, Nick?
This is this Friday, and it's going to be
Thursday.
Oh, this Thursday. I'm sorry, Thursday.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember the time. I want to say I don't want to get it wrong.
It's 6 to 7.
Okay, 6 p.m.
1800 for you military types. Okay. All right. Good deal. Well, we're out of time, folks. Anything else you want to say before we go off the air? Because we always have time for the school system.
Just thank you for having us and helping us share what's going on in the school system with our public, and we really appreciate it. And we feel the momentum, and we're feeling more and more support from our business community and our parents, and we're excited about that.
I'm excited about the community involvement and the special programs you brought in here. Folks, we've been talking to Carol Garrett, the Director of Communications for Bedford County Schools, and Nick Eagles, the Communication Assistant, and Becky Miller, our very special guest today, the Southside Elementary Principal, talking about the various programs she's implementing there at Southside School. Folks, we really appreciate. I got 2 teachers in my family. I understand the importance of that and what you guys are doing to help build that educational foundation to make our students, as they become young adults, successful and lead productive lives here in Bedford County. Thank you all for coming in today. Folks, this is Scott Johnson on behalf of Hopkins Farm Broadcasting, the only locally owned radio station here in Bedford County. Until next time.
At Dr. Hasty Family Eye Care, they strive to bring you excellence. Their family-friendly atmosphere makes going to the doctor a breeze. They provide their patients with in-depth eye exams with same-day glasses, a wide selection of name-brand frames like Ray-Ban, Versace, Coach, and more. They also have contact lenses and are able to treat ocular diseases and eye injuries. Need an eye exam? Trust Dr. Hasty and Family Eye Care, located at 605 North Main Street in Shelbyville, directly across from the U.S. Post Office. 931-684-2020.
Isn't it time you had a good night's sleep? People at their best get their beauty rest with a personalized Simmons Beauty Rest sleep experience from Kincaid's, who's always been your hometown source for top-notch customer care. From inner spring and plush to the luxurious Beauty Rest Harmony Collection, featuring pocketed coil technology designed to restore your sleep with individualized support. Call Kincaid's at 931-684-5662 and get your beauty rest with impressive selection of Simmons Beauty Rest mattresses today. Hopkins Farms.